Thank you, Minister. Advocate Johnson, I just wanted to ride on Professor Fikeni's comment. And this one is a comment just to say I'm a bit concerned about your level of vigilance, because one would expect it to be much higher than an ordinary person. Not belaboring the issue of the deductions that started in 2000. They're going for 20, I don't know what years now, 26, 25 years. And that is worrying to me, because that has got an impact on who you are in the eyes of certain people inside. That's one of the many reasons. But secondly, I also, why I had to bring it back, the issue of referees. I would expect somebody who has got a friend who is maybe a scientist or something to say they were acting as a judge and write that, not you and me. Correct. We are lawyers. Correct. And it's worrying me that we had to pick it up here. You know how judges act. This person is a magistrate. Correct. You've written a senior judge. It's almost, it's bordering, if not full-blown, misleading. Because if some of the panel members or all of us did not know what an acting judge is, it gives it a different turn altogether. One of your referees is an acting judge, correct, as opposed to a magistrate. Those things worry me. They're small, but they worry me. A third one is the Estina matter was also thrown out of court as a result of unreasonable delays, and you have not mentioned it. So that's why I say maybe it's just comments, but unreasonable delays in the courts is fundamental, because it goes to the heart of justice and a fair trial and access to the courts, and therefore access to justice. So it's worrying me that there's the way you look at things or the way you couch them, it's a different certain level of a truth as you see it, but not necessarily an absolute truth. I think I'm also trying to be strategic. No, I hear me. No, I it's already 3 examples. Yes. Wherein, at the end of the day, you have not been entirely reported ahead. Let me just put it out there.
Absolutely, and I want to be very clear. I have not been dishonest.
Should we then conclude that your ability to pay attention to detail is a bit of an issue? Let me tell you why. Let me give her the CV. Your CV is full of flaws. There's inconsistency between your CV and the form that we've sent you. Sure. And that is worrying for me. I just looked at it. Now, your CV is meant for us to be able to use as a determining process as well. So that's why I'll correspond between the CV and the question form. And that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that it was not misleading, then I conclude that you do not pay attention to detail.
In this instance, I didn't. I clearly didn't. Unintentionally, I didn't. I really sent my CV. And if you'll allow me, Minister, there can be no excuses. But I'd like you to hear the following. I don't apply for jobs. It's not something I do. But I take the point that I'm supposed to be more vigilant with the CV. I sent my CV and I accept that I was wrong. I should have checked it first and then sent. That is why when I had to do the questionnaire myself, I was vigilant in the questionnaire and was able to properly set out, because that was then the document I was penning myself. But I can't argue from the point.
I hear you are taking it, and I think this is just beyond hearing, because we published this CV before we could get the form. We've never published the form. We took your CV and published it.
I accept that.
The team emailed you to say, please verify this CV, because we are going to publish it. Because I asked them to get permission from all of you before we could pass the CV, so that you are not found wanting. You're not anything that you're not comfortable about. Please take it out. This is what you sent us, and that's what I'm saying. It's my issue. It's the ability to pay attention to detail. It's the membership of the union who didn't pay attention to detail. It's the CV. It has for a prosecutor, senior prosecutor, and a head of an investigating directorate that has the work that you carry a huge weight in your shoulders, not to be able to pay attention to detail.
I know that, yes, you are correct. I really am vigilant. When it comes to my work, I really am. Here, I can't take away that I didn't pay attention to my CV. I really didn't. And I don't have excuses to make. There's none to be made.
What is ironic in all of this, and I hope you can see what I was talking about, that it was not a joyful experience, not a joyful celebration by any measure of the imagination. What's an ironic twist of fate is that the thing that actually got her in trouble, she did not have to do. She did not have to go to the ad hoc committee. They were not looking for her. They wanted to hear from Shamila Matoyi, the leader of the MPA. But she volunteered. She sent a missive to the chairperson of the committee and said, put me in. I want to come through. And she did not know that they were ready for her, or that they would be ready for her when she showed up. She went there possibly with two objectives in mind. Number one, to rebut the Mpanazi and Kumalo version, but also to the General Kumalo and General Mpanazi version, but also I think to prepare for her campaign to become the next National Director of Public Prosecutions. But it backfired because Parliament was ready for her. She had tough questions for her, asked her about her husband, and I think she was not aware that people knew this for the longest of time, or that this information was somewhere. But clearly it was in the public domain at that particular point, and she had to respond to it because it was brought into the public domain by those members of parliament. Those files then followed her into the interview process for the National Director of Public Prosecutions, and it led to even deeper questions. And I think fundamentally the question that still will follow her, whether or not this process is not successful for her, the NTPP process, the other question that is now going to follow her is she fit to lead the Directorate Against Corruption? That's going to follow her now, because people are going to look at that and say, is she adequately qualified to be dealing with the issues of organized crime, corruption in South Africa? Think about this. Now, the challenge for her going into all of these processes is her role in the General Kumalo matter. Now, Advocate Andrea Johnson is a prominent figure in the General Kumalo matter because of his arrest in June at the airport. And she said, it wasn't a dramatic arrest, we just sent two guys to speak to him, his security details followed him, etc. They didn't even do that with Malusi Gigaba. Malusi Gigaba did not have that when he had to go to IDAC. Just imagine you're at the airport, you've got a security detail, two people come and say, you need to come with us, you have to go in their vehicle, your security guys have to follow in their own vehicle, and then they say, no, it wasn't dramatic, this is calm, it was a calm arrest, just a soft touch arrest. I don't think it would have come across that way. Not to General Kumalo, not to anybody also who was aware of what was being dealt with at the time. This followed the arrest of Usimatala Wetamanyana just a few weeks after, right? Because he was arrested in May, this happens in June. This arrest was effected by her division, IDAC, right? And then this revelation that her husband, Junaid Johnson, works for crime intelligence himself under General Kumalo. And at some point in Parliament, she said something like, you were there long before General Kumalo, almost implying that he should be the one running stuff. But that, I think, put her into the crosshairs in a way that I don't think she'll be able to walk away from, and will lead to people asking if she's qualified to be head of IDAC and if she's involved in trying to protect the people who are at the heart of the Hoshkari behavior, which has been revealed by General Mpanazi and General Kumalo and General Some people start asking that. At some point, after they had, or as they were looking into the General Kumalo matter, she was sending subpoenas to General Fani Masemola, the National Commissioner, subpoenaing information from him, the National Commissioner. And I can imagine what he was thinking when he was reading those subpoenas from IDAC, asking him about an HR matter. This was an HR matter. Something that she says was an oversight when it came to her, but when it came to Kumalo, it was like a state capture. Think about this. What was revealed in Parliament and explored further, right, in the selection process for the NTP job, is that she played a role in getting her husband a job in the Scorpions in 2007 or 2009, thereabout, 2009. Think about, you implicated in this thing, but then you arrest Kumalo for it later. The very same thing that you did. Now, General Kumalo at the Madanga Commission gave an explanation about why he believes things happened in the manner that they did. He gave his reasons why they were arrested, and according to him, it was all to make sure that the people who were dealing with the Big Five cartel and criminal intelligence were neutralized and immobilized, and incapable, therefore, of continuing with the crackdown that they were currently undergoing on the Hoshkari gremlins, who have infiltrated a variety of sectors of society and have relationships with powerful people such as Minister Kumalo. That's what they've said, General Kumalo and General Mpanazi. Here's what he said in the commission.
After the realization that PKTT was a mistaken identity in blocking the GCI Ops investigations, then one realized that during December, the the first objective of the opposition, or say so, was to deal with the project leader. Hence, there were lots of activities that were talking to the arrest of the project leader. Evidence has been led, and I've referred to quite number of examples. Even the team PKTT, most of the cases, if not all, they were registered in December 2024, the busiest month. So the closure of PKTT that happened on the 31st of March of December 24, according to our analysis, was the second attempt. The first attempt was to arrest and disrupt the activities that are continuing, and then came the disbandment. So there are lots of cases that has been indicated as part of evidence. One of them is the case that the 7 of us from the Division Crime Intelligence are facing. To relate this case with retaliation is, when we deal with projects, there will be a National Executive Committee of Intelligence that is dealing with that project, and no one else is allowed or is supposed to know and do anything about the project. So the accused on this case that were arrested on the 26th of June is the whole National Executive Committee of GCI Ops. What were we looking for? We were looking for a qualified mechatronics person, not a police officer like me. My experience and qualifications were irrelevant to the post. So we first advertised the post internally, and then the process moved on until the panel by then could not find a suitable candidate, which is a policy within SARS. And then that panel recommended for the post to be advertised externally, so as then we can get people that are qualified for the work that for the person that we are looking for. That's how then once the post is externally advertised, it's not only limited to brigadiers and generals. There are posts that are advertised on newspapers of a qualified Reverend Muruti, and those people, then because we are not Barutis police officers, then a Muruti who's qualified and registered with a particular Baruti organization that will apply and qualify, come in and be given that rank that was advertised. So in the police, it's not something that does not happen. We have a lot of senior officers that came in from the level of a brigadier. Some, they came in from the level of a major general. Not, or maybe let me make one example, the living example. The current divisional commissioner at the level of a lieutenant general, who is a lieutenant general, is from the National Treasurer Department. 2 years ago was appointed by SAPS as a divisional commissioner, who is a lieutenant general. It's another fresh example that we can see, because SAPS was looking for particular qualifications and experience that SAPS could not find within SAPS.
So the Lieutenant General you're referring to had no policing background whatsoever?
Not at all. He was, I think, after 2 years of being employed, he was then sent to a basic police training, which is normally not for like a full period, because you are called a lateral entry level and you are a senior officer. So you will just go there and get the basics, so as you are able to know how to salute.
So this post was advertised at the level of a brigadier.
Of a brigadier.
Between General Dumisani Kumalo and Advocate Andrea Johnson, if I think about whose version I believe or lean towards, I lean towards General Kumalo. I'll tell you why. Number one, General Kumalo has been in policing for decades and has no scandal. until the one which has been drummed up in